All right, anytime you're ready. Super duper. Hello, Crispin Glover.
Hello, hello.
How you doing?
Good, good. Glad to be out here in the midst of New York being interviewed.
And why are you here? Why don't you tell us a bit about that?
I'm promoting my film, What Is It? And really this film, What Is It? Is a reaction to growing up in the media in Los Angeles, or specifically corporately funded film.
Yeah, you have like a very specific take on the C word, the corporate word.
You know, it's not that I don't hate it, the corporate world, if you're meaning it to be playing with it, but I have really, over the years, carefully analyzed what the financial situations are for getting art accomplished. Corporations will necessarily not fund movies that have anything that can possibly make audiences uncomfortable. Anything that is beyond the realm of that which is considered good and evil. That means if anything is possibly considered bad or evil that sits within the film, it necessarily has to be pointed to and stated to the audience, this is the way to think about that thing. There can be no gray area about it. It's black and white, and this is the right way to think, and that's it. And what is not funded in films is a film that goes beyond these boundaries of good and evil. If there's something within the film that is questionable and it is not pointed to, but it lets the audience question, what does that mean? What is it? What are these taboos? What is it that it is meaning to this culture? And that's where the title of the film really ends up coming into play.
Because your film is called What Is It?
Exactly.
So what is it with your film?
What is it that we are not supposed to be thinking about? And ultimately, what does that mean within our culture? And then those are important questions. Like I said, it isn't giving the answers, but those questions are important ones for people to think about.
When you talk about the corporation, it always feels like it's like a Star Chamber scenario. There's like a really dark room with like little lamps above everybody's head.
Well, it's interesting.
What happens when? What do you feel like? Whether it's true or not, but what's like your instinct when you are trying to raise funding for a film? Do you think people are going, here comes that nutty Crispin Glover again with his kooky ideas and his what the heck's he up to?
That's exactly what they're thinking.
And then it's like,
that was a good impression of exactly what's inside of their head.
And it's kind of like, let's have them in for like a carnival kind of visit.
Yeah. Well, obviously I did go to a corporation with a different screenplay, and I wanted to have a majority of the cast to be played by actors with Down syndrome. That was a no. Right. People say, oh, it's shock value. And I don't think there's anything shocking in it. I understand that there are things that there's a lot of taboo in it that audiences aren't used to seeing, but that's different than just shock. There's something that can genuinely be contemplated.
What are the biggest taboos in the film to you then? I mean, there's the ones that people latch onto immediately, which I find kind of boring.
Right.
But there's like the fact that your actors all have Down syndrome.
Right. This film is not in any way, shape, or form trying to make a movie about Down syndrome at all. And the people that are in the film that act in it are playing characters that don't have Down syndrome. What they are representing is a psychological element of my reaction to a certain displacement I personally have within the culture, within this media. When I look into the face of somebody that has Down syndrome, I see a history of somebody that has really lived their entire lives outside of the culture. By having most of the actors in the film being cast with what feels to be that innate quality, it gives the whole film has a feeling of being removed from the society.
Crispin Glover, you kind of do everything. You're kind of like, should you have like a ranch dressing I assume, like a Paul Newman kind of thing? When's your popcorn and ranch dressing coming out?
I haven't gone into the food industry, but I did publish this one. I published, I think it was 1987 or 9. They're heavily illustrated books, and when I show the film before that, I do an hour-long presentation. I call it Crispin Glover's Big Slideshow. Which I'm trying to advertise a bit more as being let people know, because there's some confusion as to actually it is a 1 hour dramatic presentation that I perform, and I almost hate to say it, but people almost always universally really react 100% positively to the slideshow, and I have more questionings about the film. What is it? I'm on some levels most proud of What Is It, because I put a lot of time into that. It took me 9.5 years from the first day of shooting the what was going to be a short film to having a 35 millimeter print of the feature film, and it's very time consuming and it's very difficult. And there's
Never wake
something
up and go, why the hell am I doing
no,
this?
no,
I'm wasting my life.
That is one thing that I was always very consistent. I never had a question that I always was working on it. There was never a pause where I just said there was never a thought in my head of I can't do. It was always I'm doing this.
Right.
It's like even hard for me to say it. It just was not an allowable thought in my head. This had to be done. And it was going to be done. In year 7, you're talking to people, and they think this guy's never going to make this movie. And so, like I said, I am relieved, and now I have this other one. And it's taking time, but at least I have the proof now of I made that film. And
yeah, you can just I'm not full of bullshit.
Yeah, that's right, and I'm very glad of it. Well, thanks for a great interview.
Glad you're not full of bullshit.
Extremely intelligent conversation. So
well, thank you, and I'm looking forward to your salad dressing.
Well, thank you. Yeah, maybe. You never know. You never know what's going to happen in the future.
I love you. Oh, you're my love.
Good. He's dead. Now we can have a good time.
It's time for the puppet show.
4 snails. 400 more injections. And I shall be an invertebrate.
The King of I, work for me.
Free of this human form.
Praise the Lord.
Free of this opposable thumb.
Oh!